Check. Microphone
All right, we're
check.
rolling. We're good.
You can hear it already?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I'm fucking. Let me get my shit together.
I can't believe you're drinking coffee. You're crazy.
Not yet. Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh my God. I got a late checkout. It's all good. The lady was cool.
Oh, you're drinking coffee. So, let me do my intro because it's actually happening now. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. This is my 4th episode, not at my house. I've done one at Tim Armstrong's studio, then one in my van last week with Milo. But welcome to the podcast, Mr. Jamey Jasta.
What's up? Thank you for having me. You had Milo?
Finally. Yeah.
I feel bad because I never liked Descendants and I only like one song, but it's the best song ever written. It's better than Stairway to Heaven.
What is it? Coffee
Mug. Liquid of choice.
Yeah.
That song's a ripper. I'll mosh this whole fucking hotel room.
So before we get started, I want to say that Jamey was one of the first people to back me on having this podcast and sent me a Focusrite thing in the mail. I didn't know what the fuck it was. I figured out how to use it now, and that's like a recording device for the podcast. So I really thank you for that.
Yeah, the preamp.
Yeah.
And no problems with that preamp.
No, I love it. And I got a little one too that I take with me for 2 microphones. Okay, now I want to take it back to growing up, Jasta. Where were you born? Connecticut.
New Haven.
New Haven, Connecticut. Brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have an older sister and a younger brother.
And how was it growing up in your family? Did you have strict parents? Were you guys religious? What was it like growing up in Connecticut?
Oh, we did everything.
Mm-hmm.
We did the Krishna, we did the Sikhs, we tried the Protestant,
Your
we tried
family?
the Catholic, we tried
Wow.
one night it was like I said, "Oh, we're gonna say the Our Father?" No, we're gonna say the Hare Krishna. I was like, "What was that?" And they were like,
Are you serious?
yeah, floating around. I don't think we did no, we might have done some Buddhist
Were your parents
shit.
like hippies, kind of, or?
Yeah, my father says he just dressed like that to get into the parties. but you know, I think, you know, coming out of Vietnam, he was like, yeah, let me do some peace and love shit.
Wow.
Yeah, because Vietnam, man, that messed up a lot of dudes.
For sure, man. I have some relatives who was in that as well. So your parents seemed like pretty open-minded parents then, right?
Oh yeah. They tried, like, they were just like, they're just kids. You realize that nobody's a fucking adult.
Yeah.
Especially anybody raising a family in the late 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
They were just kids trying to find their way too, you know?
Yeah. So how were you in school?
Oh, school was shot. But now, you know what's funny is I was talking to Rusty about this.
Okay.
When I saw you guys in the Czech Republic.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, you know what, man? All of us and all the people like from, you know, his generation and a little bit younger, he's like, it was all undiagnosed ADD and ADHD and
100%.
right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that. Shout out to Rusty. I was thinking
all
about
super
that.
hyped kids, I think, right?
Oh my God. They were telling me that I would freak out like going to kindergarten, and I would be like, they try to get through the door and I would hold like all the walls, like trying to just like, it couldn't get me through the door.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no. And I would be like, fuck that. No way. And then seriously, every year was like torture until 9th grade. And then I was like, no, I'm done. I'm out.
You quit school in 9th grade?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. Okay, so
I was doing gigs already in 8th grade.
Okay.
I did a show in 8th grade.
Okay, so let's rewind. So you hated school the whole time.
My God.
And then you found music. That kind of made you want to leave school.
I found music real early. My parents had vinyl records, and then we had
Sick.
They got me like a cassette thing. You know what? I was talking about this the other day. I don't think it was a Walkman because we didn't have a lot of money, so it was like the one that only played the one side.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what I can picture it right now.
It was like
The one ear thing, yeah.
Yeah, it was like for if you were gonna do an interview with like the paper, like the local, but you could play the tape back.
I know. I can envision what you're talking about.
But then, like when work was good, like because my father would do painting or he would do general contracting, or then I remember my mother got a retail job, and then when money would come in. Then it was like we got the Walkman, not the Sony, because I remember whatever brand I had, the kids were like torturing me about it. Oh, you got that?
Damn.
That was how they were. Like I didn't have the real cons. I had the ones from Edwards food stores with the fake circle.
Fake Converse. Wow.
And they would be like, "Yo, you're fucking. You got the Jeepers. You got the Jeepers.
Damn.
And then I'd have to have like the card, like, you know, when you get the card for food lunch.
Yeah.
Or then you go to the corner store and you got to use the card, like the WIC food
It's like
stamps.
food stamps,
I would
yeah.
hide it. You know, and be
Fuck,
like,
man.
because I didn't want the kids to
So kids picked on you in school?
fuck with me. But then when I got to 6th grade and 7th grade, I met this kid. I met two different kids. And then I went to a camp over the summer of 6th and 7th grade. And the counselor, I had a bunch of tapes with me. I had Fishbone, Primus, Mighty Boss Tones, Pantera, and something else. And he was like the cool guy. He's like, yo, check this out. He showed me Judge.
No way.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, he played me Judge. I was like, this shit is hard. And then when I went back after summer camp, I went to school, and I said to this one kid, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I heard Judge. And he was like, oh yeah, I'll make you this tape. So he made me a tape. It had Arise. It had Biohazard, self-titled.
Yep.
It had Mucky Pup.
Yep.
It had Murphy's Law.
It's a sick mix.
Yeah, the mix was sick. And it had, what else did it have on it? It had some more metal shit too. It had, what were they called?
How old were you?
12, 13.
And what kind of music have you heard before? Just like basic rock and roll stuff, or like what you listened to before?
Oh yeah,
that?
just like Guns N' Roses, Metallica.
Okay.
My sister had like that split second where she was into, because before the mall closed in downtown.
Yeah.
There's a place where you could get the patches. What year
Punk
was
patches.
What year was Whitesnake? Was it 85?
I don't know, man.
I remember going to the mall and being like, I like that Whitesnake song, that one song.
Okay.
And I think it was 85, so I was probably like 9.
Holy shit.
And then, you know, from Whitesnake, I think it was probably 86, 87, 88 was all that, like Guns N' Roses, Metallica. Yeah. And then 90, probably 91 was when I got into when I did the camp and then got into the other shit. What year did that Primus came out? That might have been 90 or 91.
My Name is Mud.
No, the one before that.
Okay, before that.
Yeah, because once they got big, I was like, oh, it's too big now. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you listen to pretty much all types of music. Then you heard the Judge. And then you get that mixed cassette with all those bands on it, right?
Yeah, but also we had a public access show.
Okay.
This is before we got the color TV.
Okay.
Like we had the black and white TV, and so when we got the color TV, we got cable. Okay. But on the black and white TV, we had the local public access, and I saw Queensryche. I saw Suicidal.
Sick.
That Joined the Army tape. I played that fucking tape. What year was that? Was that 90?
It was early. It was before that, man. Had to be like 80, 88 maybe.
I probably got it in 90 though, because Rhymes Records, I could take the Q bus to Chapel Street and go to Rhymes Records.
So were you a skater too?
I mean, I hurt my knee. I was like a wannabe skater. Like once I hurt my knee, I was like, well, I can't do shows and I can't, I don't want to. I got to do one or the other, because I was already in bands at 13, 14.
So what was the first band?
It was called Dreadnought, but then
What's it called, Dreadnought?
Yeah, but then I think we found out there was another band or something, so we tried to spell it a different way.
And you sang in that band?
Yep.
And did you want to be a singer at that time? We just loved the music. It's like I want to play music. Like what was?
I just grabbed the mic at their practice and was like, I'm gonna do this.
Wow.
Yeah.
And before that, were you like were you getting good grades in school, or you just fucking hated it from day one?
I just hated it.
But did you do good? Did you try to do good?
I think I did okay up until like the 6th, 7th grade.
You play sports too?
Yeah, actually, the you know what's fucked up is I think I have a different opinion of weed now.
Okay.
I don't think weed is bad. I don't even look at it really like as a serious drug. I know some people think it's really, because it's so powerful now.
Yeah.
That it's really dangerous. Some people are. I mean, I get letters from people that are like, "Yo, man, as for someone who doesn't drink, you really should, not talk so positively about weed." But I'll say this: like in the 9th grade, we didn't have a gym at our school, so you had to be bused to another school to do sports.
Wow. Okay.
Because my school was in the inner city.
Yeah.
And it was for like kids that weren't doing well in the normal system.
Okay.
So, and then I would see like the jocks, they weren't like mean to me, but I had more in common with like the punk rockers and the you know, sort of like the misfits and the artsy and the weirdo people.
Yeah.
So going to the artsy weirdo school, but having to get bussed over to the
other school,
regular high school, which was Wilbur Cross, which was, you go over there, and then it's like, you know, if you had the skater cut with the dye, you know, then it was like you're gonna have problems. I mean, it was, and then I was like, these motherfuckers are adults up in here. Like there was dudes on the baseball team that were like grown men with fucking beards, 6'2".
Damn.
Like that was when I realized like a freshman is way different than like a senior, right?
So true. Yeah, man. Yeah.
And
Totally.
and they thought they knew everything.
Yeah.
And I was just a peon. But then I made the team.
Okay.
Now I wasn't really gonna play. My father came to a couple games, and then I started smoking weed.
So how old are you then? 14?
Yeah, I think so.
That was the first thing you kind of tried?
No, I had already tried acid. I already been drinking.
Damn.
Yeah, they used to put crack in the blunts. We called them woolly blunts.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Embalming fluid. We would buy they called it illy. We would buy the cigarettes and smoke the cigarettes with embalming fluid on it.
Holy
Dude, we were crazy. Someone told me that's PCP.
PCP, yeah.
I was like, PSP is the game.
So, but was it because of the people you're hanging out with at the time that exposed you to that type of shit? Wasn't
it? Because we go downtown and then there was like, in the winter you could go to the grates, which pump out like all the hot air exhaust. Probably was terrible to be breathing this shit in.
For sure.
You know, from Yale. And then we'd go to the coffee shop, we'd go to the record store, and it was all just fucking freaks hanging out.
Okay.
But so when I smoked weed, I got cool ideas for flyers and T-shirts and songs and lyrics and stuff, but then I had no desire to go back and play baseball. So I was like, fuck that, I'm out.
So you started writing songs at that young age.
Oh, yeah. You know what's fucked up? And I was thinking about this because my daughter was trying to get into some program, not like I think it was like a college course, but not when you do like the full semester, but you just take a couple.
Okay.
And something happened, she didn't get in, or she applied for something, didn't get in, and I was like, that happened to me. After I was gonna quit the regular school, I wanted to go to this other school. It was like Educational Center for the Arts, I think it was called.
Okay.
And so I wrote a bunch of poetry and submitted it. And they were
That's awesome.
Well, they were like, this is not up to par. You can't get in. And plus we have, all these other people who are ahead of the line, whatever. And I was like, okay, whatever. I said, I'm going to Milwaukee. I'm going to play with Strife, and I'm going to play with fucking Chokehold or whatever with my band. And they were like, yeah, good luck with the band. Have fun with that.
Wow.
Yeah, they were dicks. And so then that's when I realized, then I went to a guidance counselor, and I was telling him about the band. I was like, yo, we played on the New Haven Green. There was 100 kids. They were singing the words. They knew the words. He was like, pfft. He gave me that, like, pfft, have fun. So then I realized this, and this is not all teachers. There's great teachers out there. But I realized that these were people that somebody threw cold water on their dreams, and they were stuck in a job that they hated. Mm-hmm. So I would just look at them and I would go, I'll never be you. You're a sucker. Mm-hmm. And then there was one point when I got expelled because of some graffiti shit. I had nothing to do with it, but I was there.
Guilty by association.
Right. And so I got expelled.
Fuck.
Yeah. And they fucking tagged the whole school. It was bad.
What grade was that?
But this was the thing. These kids, one of the kids is no longer with us.
Okay.
So I could talk about it now, but these were kids where their older brothers and other family members had told me, do not say anything. And so I knew early on that in that world, there was a strict
code of the streets,
strict no snitching. So it was give them up and stay in school or get expelled.
Shit.
So I got expelled.
And your parents didn't know that nothing?
No, they did. My father was like, it's all right. You don't need to go there anyways, and you don't want trouble, and it's all good. Like,
fuck.
you know, because my father had grown up, you know, in similar situations and knew, and especially out of Vietnam, you see what a lot of those guys had to do because reintegrating into society was hard. So I always kind of felt a little out of step with normal society. Pardon the pun there.
Yeah. No.
Did you ever get him on the show?
Yeah.
He's anti-mosh, so I'm not down. I don't back him, but
okay.
But in a way, I have to thank him because there would be no Hatebreed without him throwing us out of the show.
We might as well get to that right now because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because we were psyched. All they said was, "Yo, it's members of Minor Threat."
Okay.
So we're like, "Really?" So we go to the show. We think it's fucking gonna be. We can't believe it. We think it's gonna be stage diving.
Yeah.
We think it's gonna be hard pitting. Oh no! This was girls with armpit hair and Food Not Bombs table and you know, and nothing wrong with either of those things. But they looked at us like we were cavemen.
What year was that? Probably around the first time they played it, or maybe
91, 92.
That was in Connecticut?
Yeah. They were like, you get the fuck out. Don't stage dive. Don't push anybody. Don't invade any personal space. That was the first time I heard safe space.
Wow. Holy
yeah.
shit.
So
you
I was
guys
like,
super bummed?
I was like, yeah, Fugazi sucks. I was like, this sucks. I was like, I'm going to start some fucking hard shit. I have motherfuckers diving off the fucking PA, diving off the balcony.
That's what inspired you.
Yeah.
Holy shit. What was the band you at that? What band were you at that time? At that moment?
I think I was in Jasta 14 at the time.
Yeah. Let's rewind a little bit too, because so
we opened for Sick of It All.
Okay.
And I had briefly, you know, saw you and I think
that's
Tim.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And we were like, oh man, those are those guys from New York. They're cool. They got tattoos. Like they got like cute girlfriends and like, you know, they're like older, you know, like, and then like people would like throw down at the show. Like you could go and you'd be like, oh, this is a little scary actually. Like, oh, this guy's going a little too hard. Yeah. Like, oh, maybe this is the shit Fugazi hates. And then I'd go back to, you know, like downtown or the record store, and then I would hear like, that's when I started realizing that there was corny shit in the scene, like Fugazi, and I no disrespect. I'm just saying as a, you know, as a 14, 15-year-old, I'm playing fucking Arise and Biohazard self-titled and Just Look Around on my fucking one-eared Walkman. And so I'm not trying to hear about fucking Born Against and fucking Fugazi and that shit. That's when
there's a bunch of different parts of it.
Yeah, I was like, this shit's so segmented. You got the whiners. That's what I looked at it as, like whiny shit. And then I would do shows at a collective called Studio 158 where they have to like vote and they're, you know, and then I saw it as I wanted to do my thing. I was like, there's more rules and more fucking whining in this than there is at school. And fucking
I got you. Yeah.
So and there was a lot of great people that put on great shows, but you know,
you put on shows young, right?
Yeah, and I was like, I always respected their work ethic. Like I always respected Fugazi keeping it real to the point with like the $5 shows. But I was like, yo, I got fucking bills, man. I don't live with my parents. I got a daughter on the way. Like by that point, you know.
Oh yeah, how old were you?
Flash forward 5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm about to be 20 and I got a daughter on the way, and I'm like, I need to fucking play a $15 show.
Yeah.
And sell some shirts for $15. And then, you know, and then you see the whiners and you're like, well, yo, I'm trying to do what I love. Like, are you going to support me or are you going to fucking stick to all these rules and all this shit?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And, you know, you were able to balance it for a long time both ways, but they turned on you eventually too.
Sure, yeah.
You know, and then
never to your face, obviously.
Right. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do all this shit and you set up 100 fucking $5 shows and and I did shows for all those whiner bands.
Yeah.
And all those people that then they weren't even grateful. Like you would have had a fucking day off, motherfucker.
Yeah, you put on a lot of shows. It was like a skate ramp in there too, right? Was it a skate park?
I did every venue.
Yeah, we played a bunch of shows. You put a bunch of shows on for us back then, some of the first shows. How long did you book shows for?
Years and years and years.
Yeah, and so when were you officially out of school? Was it 9th grade? That was it for you?
Yeah, I think I tried to go one month in the 10th grade, and then it was. But then I did get there was a place in West Haven that said they would give me my GED.
Oh, wow.
So I went and got the GED.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, your parents...
They were really kind of like insisting on that. I was already living on my own, and my mother was like, we were kind of estranged at that point. It's all good now. It's all water under the bridge. But at that point, my father was in and out of the VA, with PTSD from Vietnam.
Yeah.
So I lived with Desi from Mine War.
Okay.
For a little bit, and Brian. Desi went on to be in High on Fire.
Okay.
Then I lived with these other dudes. I would bounce around, and then when my father was finally like getting his life together, got a job, we moved above my grandparents.
Okay.
With my 2 uncles, so we lived above them. Then my father met a great lady, Kathy. Shout out to Kathy. We moved out of the city, which was great because then I could focus on the music.
Yeah.
And get away from that whole circle, which at that point, a lot of people, there was some other shit that went down too that we were witness to that we had to not talk about. And yeah. What's crazy too is one of those guys in this one incident that had happened where we weren't supposed to be at this party.
Yeah. And
something bad happened. I seen him like 15 years later when he got out. And he came to Irving Plaza.
Damn.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so like just things like that you don't realize. Just wrong place, wrong time. It could change your life forever.
Yeah, imagine the internet back then or phones back then or cameras.
They tried to cancel me. Did I tell you about that? They tried to cancel me for some shit like from fucking 25 years ago or
they tried to get canceled.
They tried to
cancel you,
and they kept bringing it back like every 5 years. Like anytime I got like any big gig or anything, they would come out of the woodwork. And so now,
about something back then,
yeah,
wow,
yeah, and so now it's funny because when I see them going after people, I'm like,
who's they? It's the people that like to go out and cancel people.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's the cancel generation they call it. Yeah,
well,
Kanye West is canceled, like stuff like that, right?
Like it's like the new generation of whiners and complainers.
Okay.
It's like you're focusing your energy on someone who's not your real enemy. To a certain extent,
of course,
everybody's got some sort of dirt. Are we gonna go fucking dig it all up and fucking be like, hey, don't let them tour, don't let them play this venue, or are we gonna focus on ourselves and
worry about our own shit
and our own little inner circle that instead of trying to tear people down, lift the people up that we can?
Yeah, I agree.
But it is super disappointing when you try to lift somebody up and then they fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to, I guess, just work on,
yourself.
Deciding, who you're gonna, who you're gonna get behind and who you're gonna try to lift up.
So what was the turning point for you? You said you were partying as a young kid. Did that continue on through your life, through all your musical career? Party until at one point you said enough is enough for you? Like what was it for you?
Yeah. You once you start chasing that fucking feeling, you're fucked because you're caught in this this loop.
Yeah.
This rat race where they're like, oh, you got to get up and you got to play live on the radio in Chicago at fucking 7 a.m. drive time radio, but you were out till 5 a.m. and you just fell asleep for 45 minutes. You wake up and your fucking head is pounding and your fucking lips are sticking together and your tongue is fucking got fur on it. You're in there. You ever have that? Like you're so dehydrated, you're like, and then what do you got to do?
And you do that over and over again every day.
Oh my God. There was one time where somebody gave me a pile of pills. And this is right when I got T-Mobile Sidekick.
Sidekick. Shout out to the Sidekicks. They were sick.
They were great. You could Google.
I love that. Yeah, I love those shit.
Thank God you could go on the web browser.
Mm-hmm.
Because I looked at the pill and I looked up what it was before I took it.
Oh, wow.
Right. And I broke it in half. And then I drank a beer. Dude, I was so fucked up. You know how you hear all these poor people, these poor kids, like this rapper kid, they just take a pill. They don't know what it is. They're done. They're gone.
It's a rap, yeah.
That's done.
It's true.
I was on a flight with this kid. I seen his name up in the thing because he was ahead of me on the upgrade. I was like, fuck this motherfucker. He's going to get my seat. And then he did. And so I asked my daughter, I go, who's this kid? I know he's a white rapper. And she's like, oh my God, he dates, he dates, Ariana, Grande.
Oh, it's Mac Miller.
Yes.
Damn, rest in peace.
Right?
Damn.
Right? So he gets upgraded. I'm like, and I'm asking my daughter, and she's like, oh my God, he's great. You would like some of his songs or whatever. So we're getting off the flight, and I was gonna say what's up.
Yeah.
And say, yo, my daughter's a big fan or whatever.
Totally.
But I couldn't find him.
Yeah.
And then like a couple weeks later, he's gone.
Oh wow, is that recent? Wow.
And I was like, that's just one bad decision. And I was so, that one especially hit me like, God damn, I fucking dodged so many bullets.
Yeah, you did.
Because especially when you're on tour, and our old guitar player had said some stuff in his thanks list alluding to drugs.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it was like a message so that fans could kind of hook him up.
Shit. What?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think if you read his,
underlining message like, hey, hit me up when you come to shows. That was what I want, kind of thing. Like,
I think so.
secret drug code or something.
Yeah, so then sometimes people would give them to me and be like, yo, give them to him.
Got you.
And they did him in.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Were you like on a self-destruction mode, even though you're having so much success? And you were doing that during the prime of everything. I mean, your band still does great, but you were killing. It wasn't like you're having a shitty career, but you were just wilding out every night. It was just part of it. You feel like that was part of what you had to do, and you loved it, and you feel like you needed that to perform or be you, you think? What was it? Because it's crazy because you stopped doing it, and your band's still doing great. You've had such a longevity career. It didn't affect your career. But
no, it did.
It did?
Yeah, it did. Because then those bands, I always feel like once you become like the not fun guy, you don't get invited. Like you don't
to
get
the parties
right?
anymore.
You know, which is
canceled. No,
which is fine. I'd rather do my own party and be alive.
True. No, for sure.
But I was talking about it with Al because on that tour, we were watching Lemmy and we're like, how the fuck does he do it? Because it was 99. Motorhead, Dropkicks, Hatebreed. Scarhead was on some shows.
Wow.
I think when we dropped off, I think maybe Blood for Blood got on some shows, or maybe they got on in place of Scarhead. I forget.
That's
but
a sick tour, man.
It was wild. But I would see like, so Lemmy would be up. Sometimes the load-in would be 10 a.m. and he'd be up and he'd be playing pool. And there'd be strippers there already, and there'd be bikers there and shit, and like
living it, man.
Oh man! And then what are you gonna do? Like, Lemmy's poured you a glass of Jack Daniels. Like, you're gonna say no? And I'm just a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit! And Lemmy's got like two hot like black strippers with fake tits, and they're bending over playing pool. I'm like, this is some rock star shit.
Fuck.
But so then the Danzig tour, then the Soulfly tour, then the Sepultura tour, then the Slayer tour, then the Ozfest.
One after another with you, man. Yeah.
Oh my God. Then I got the job at MTV.
Yes.
So then it's like, yo, so-and-so's in town. Yo, go to this party. Oh, go to the VMAs. Go to the fucking Grammys. Go to the...
So full-blown living it, man. Like,
oh, dude. Crazy.
Like nonstop. Like
I came from
sleeping.
Japan.
Yeah.
My daughter, my mom, and my girl flew out. I had partied so fucking hard in Japan that when we got to the Grammys, we walked the red carpet with my daughter. We shared the limo with Slipknot. She was scared. She had her little white dress on. She was like freaking out, looking at Clown, like, oh, no,
wow.
Daddy, no, Dad, I don't. They look scary.
That's amazing.
We walked the red carpet, and I'm still bombed from Japan.
Fuck.
We meet Bonnie Raitt. We meet Paul Abdul. I met Duff and his wife. They were all like, oh, my God, you look amazing. Who's your date? You know, like me. Like, my date is my little daughter.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even go in. I wanted to see Slipknot win so bad. We lost to Motorhead, so it was okay. So we saw Lemmy and we saw Mickey D and Phil, and we were like, yo, if you're going to lose to anybody.
Which album was that?
Well, they won for a cover.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, damn, it was Rise of Brutality. But
Yeah.
so then
For Live for This, right? 2004.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then we get back to the hotel. I see Biz Marquee in the elevator.
Sick.
I'm so fucking hungover. I'm so miserable. But I'm a fan of Biz Marquee, so I go, Biz, oh my God, can I get a picture? And I just bought this like dope digital camera in Japan.
Yeah. They always had the cameras. The advanced cameras always over there. Yeah.
I said, yo, I'm in like, and I'm fucking shot. And I did at that point. I had cracked a beer, even though I said I would never drink around my daughter. And because we were at the Renaissance. And they have like that bar in the lobby, and everybody, DMC was down there.
Sick.
I said, what's up to him?
I know you're friends with him now. That's cool.
Yeah. And so I get in the elevator, and I said to Biz, like, oh, I want to get a picture. I was like, yeah, we were nominated. We're like some metal shit. Like, I don't know if you would like it. He goes, why wouldn't I like it? Yo, like he got mad, offended, like real quick. And so I thought, like, this is like some stupid shit that I said, like because I had been drinking, right? And I was like, no, I don't mean it like that. Like I just meant like, I don't know. Like I knew like rapper dudes who were metalheads. I didn't think he was one of them.
Not back then, yeah.
Right? But then I started thinking like, yeah, like KRS is down with Sick of It All, and like, you know, Anthrax did the shit with Public Enemy.
But would he know that? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But so then we got up to the hotel room, and now I'm like overthinking.
So you didn't get a picture of him. It was a weird moment.
I did, but it was blurry, and it was like I was bummed out.
That sucks.
And I knew then that I had to quit. I was like,
oh wow,
because then they all wanted to go to the parties. So I told my girl and I told my mom, go without me.
Okay.
And I'll stay here with Maddie. She went to bed early. She was shot, and I was shot. And then they came back at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. My mom was like, oh, we met Kevin Bacon. We met Kira Cedric. We met, they were psyched. You know,
they were psyched.
They had a really good time at the parties.
So,
but I was so shot that I tried to go sober that time because I was like, my daughter cannot see me wasted. And they were like, no, you were fine. You were fine. You didn't do anything wrong. Like you weren't drunk. You had one beer, whatever. But in my mind, I'm like, this is what I don't want this feeling anymore.
Yeah, of course.
Because and that's when I realized, and this goes back to what Rusty was saying, I had this weird deficit. Like I had this weird, like my attention would go to one thing and I would hyper focus on the negative. And then what would help me not do that? Have a beer, crack a Vicodin. That was my thing. Have a half a Vicodin or a half a Xanax, crack a beer. And then all of a sudden, I can do a meet and greet with fucking 500 kids at FYE or at the Oz Fest.
Yeah.
But then what I'm telling them, and they're pouring their heart and soul out to me, they're your music changed my life. They got my lyrics tattooed on them. They got my face tattooed on them. And I'm having to give them a disingenuine, booze-pilled response because the pressure is too much.
Yeah.
You know? But
you put the pressure on yourself a lot.
Well,
obviously mentally, right? Like,
well, right before that, I had tried going sober one time as well.
Okay.
Right after Metallica played Perseverance on Headbangers Ball. And then I got the job.
Okay.
Then I interviewed them. And then I saw that James could be sober because he's like, look, if I can do it.
Yeah.
So then after that cycle, because on that Rise of Brutality cycle, that was...
Yeah.
I went back to drinking. I toured with Vinny and Dime. What are you going to do? You're going to tell Vinny and Dime no?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You're just in it, man. Yeah, you're like...
Then I saw them again. I saw Metallica again.
Yeah.
And James had put Perseverance on his iPod.
Sick.
And I was like, look, he's in the biggest fucking band in the world. I think my meet and greet is challenging with 500 kids.
Yeah.
He's got fucking thousands of people chasing him around. He can't go anywhere without people up in his face. He has to have security around. I'm like,
totally.
I'm like, my problems are nothing. Like I can do this. And then by the time 06, end of 05, 06, then I was like, all right, I'm done. And I haven't touched booze since.
Since 2006.
Yeah. 2005,
amazing.
2006.
I think you started doing like marathons and shit too, running and shit, right? Weren't you?
I did. Well, not marathons. The most I ever did was a 10K. I did.
Awesome though.
I did a lot of 5Ks, 10Ks. I did that, obstacle course shit. So I got to get back. I have to get back on that.
Is it a struggle still?
I got a little disenchanted with some of it when I learned about the charities, like, and how much the people were taking. That was even with my sister, I don't want to say the charity. My sister did my sister did like a 50-mile walk. Something crazy.
Oh, for those kind of charities, I got you. Yeah.
And then I had heard like what the CEO I'm like, yo, you're a charity. You're taking that much fucking money off the top?
Yeah, that's shady, man.
So that I got out of that. I got out of doing all those races because that was my thing. Like I was like, I'm going to do this, but I'm not going to do it just for nothing. I'm not going to go run a fucking 10K on my own. If I'm going to go do that, I want to inspire somebody else. I want the money to go to somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got to get back into that.
Yeah, so you're sober since 2006. How many years?
Well, no, I don't want to say sober because I've taken like, a space cake in Amsterdam or
all right.
I had the fucking weed popcorn in San
drinking.
Fran.
You haven't drank.
Right.
That's huge, man. That's huge.
Booze is evil, man. I don't want to be on a preacher shit right now, but I think in 10, 20, 30 years, we're going to find out that we were lied to. We're going to find out that it causes much more than just dementia and liver failure and different sort of cancers and
I guess you say the same thing about the meat industry too. 10 years from now,
I really do, man. I think it's going to be like how cigarettes were.
100%.
And I know people are going to write me and say, well, you took a fucking huge Jägermeister check and you took all these fucking checks, and I did, man. And I you know what? At least I used the money for good.
Mm-hmm.
At least I saved for my kids' future and shit. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that maybe people left the show and fucking drove off a cliff or fucking beat their kids or beat their wives on fucking booze. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like thinking about that.
Yeah.
But it's not my choice.
Yeah. No, for sure. And you party a lot of your life anyway, so it's like you experienced all that, and to get like a Jägermeister sponsor or something like that to help do something positive with it, makes that makes sense. It makes sense to me. You know what I mean?
Well, that goes back to like how everybody's like in everybody else's pockets and trying to find the hypocrisy. You know what? I remember I was living above my grandparents. My dad was in the hospital. My uncle was smoking crack. My other uncle has cerebral palsy and, was just trying to keep a job and just trying to pay the bills and, just have some dignity and decent way of life, right? And Earth Crisis came to stay with me. And I remembered hearing their conversation, like just how everybody was just fucking just in their business, like looking at what they ate, looking at what they were wearing, looking at their sneakers, just trying to find the hypocrisy.
And even before the internet, they were getting ridiculed like that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, man.
And then when I set up the show, I had pro-choice people coming. They were going to try to shut the show down because they thought Earth Crisis was a pro-life band.
Damn.
And all this stuff. And I just remember thinking, like, this is not how we get ahead as a fucking society.
People putting meat in their doors of the cars.
Yeah.
All that shit.
And trying to like smoke in the front row and blow the smoke and shit. And I'm just like, and so now that this type of stuff is still going on where everybody's like trying to one up each other, it's like we've come so far in certain areas, like our collective consciousness. But then in other areas, it's like reverting back.
Yeah.
I was talking about this
Caveman
with Butch
days.
Walker today, like because he was talking about Queen and how it was like he couldn't tour towards the end or he couldn't go out and it was like shameful.
Yeah.
And I thought, God, it's so amazing that as humanity, we've come along now where if somebody was suffering like Freddie Mercury was, if they were suffering like that now, we would rally behind them and be like, no, get up there, play the piano, do what you love. We're not judging you. Love
100%.
who you want to love.
100%.
And so in that aspect, as a society, we have, some of us have,
involved and being open,
right?
Yeah.
Because we'd be like, look, there's such a finite amount of time we get on this planet. Your songs are amazing. You're a great person. You made mistakes like everybody else, like, how they show in the movie where, everybody's got their drug problems or their booze problems or their communication issues where they have the falling out with the bandmates or the family member or whatever. Mm-hmm. We all have problems like that. But if you had the chance now to see someone who's a great artist, whose words or voice or music made your life better,
people, yeah, man,
you would rally behind them no matter what the societal sort of stigma was.
Did you see The Joker?
No.
Yeah, it's a very important movie for 2019. Everything that's happening with mental issues and stuff and mental awareness, and it's really dark, man. It's not what people can expect.
Really?
It's not a superhero movie. It's not for kids. It's like real life shit.
Yeah.
That's why people really connecting to it. I walked out I walked out completely numb. Just the whole thing is really heavy.
Really?
It's important. Yeah, it's a really important movie for people to see.
I don't know if I'm gonna go see it. I don't know. I gotta wait till I'm in the right headspace.
Yeah, it's not what you expect.
Because when I was at like my lowest, I used to I have a buddy of mine. He would call me to like check in on me, be like, "Yo, how you doing? How's everything?" And I would be like, "Yo, I would say, just trying to stay off the evening news, man. Just trying to stay off the evening news."
I like that.
Right? And that would be my thing. Like, if I could just stay off the fucking evening news.
Holy shit!
So like that movie makes me think of that. Like, like. I'm not trying to say like I'm a tough guy or I'm a maniac or anything like that, but there's been times where if you caught me on the wrong day, I might hurt myself or somebody else.
That's fucking crazy, but it's crazy because your grind has been so strong since then. Like with Hateware, with Stillborn Records, all the records you did, even partying, you've always been working though. Like you worked really hard to get where you are, man.
Thank you, man. No,
From booking the shows as a little kid, all that shit.
Just trying to stay out of the dark river, man. It's always flowing. It's always there.
Did you ever want to quit music stuff?
Oh yeah, all the time. But it's all, dude. There's constant vindication.
Pulls you right back, though.
That's the one thing is like all the failures. They make you have the perspective. They give you the perspective. So
totally.
And man.
Totally, for sure.
You did the major label grind. You had the fucking little whiners.
Yep.
And then you come back with the record, with the comeback record.
Mm-hmm.
You got to it's peaks and valleys.
100%. It's a journey, yeah.
Right? With nothing to prove.
Yep. For sure. It's
but I got to bust your balls. You should have been doing an album a year.
I know. We slack on the records, man.
If you had been doing an album a year, you left so much money on the table. Not that money's important to that extent, but I'm just saying, like, now with these bands that are dropping an album every 18 months.
I know, man. How many albums you guys have? 11 albums? I think it was 11.
Well, no, you got to think I do, because I did the other projects. So,
I know.
But still, as far as your concern is, you and Ignite, you both had like these massive comeback records, right? Like they had like The Darkest Days, You Had Nothing to Prove.
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, around the same time too, because we did that tour together.
That's right.
And people didn't even know your old shit. They knew the new shit.
Yeah, and that's still our biggest shit now. It's fucking crazy, man. It's
But
crazy.
you should have followed, both of you. You should have followed.
We did.
That
We
up.
took a long 6 year between. Yeah, we took too long. I know, man. So what is your cycle?
That's the ADD.
Yeah.
Or ADHD or undiagnosed fucking
some shit.
Right?
Yeah, it's true. We should have way more records than we have for 25 years as a band.
How
many
many
years
do you
is
have
Hatebreed
now?
together for now?
94.
Fuck, same with us. 25 years.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy, man.
How many albums you have now?
6.
Yeah, you got to get cracking, man. What's
We're gonna start now with more.
You got to just start dropping them.
Was there a point? Where was the point for Hatebreed? We were like, holy shit! Like this is like, I guess you could say career, or like this is. You guys are like we're big, and this is fucking connecting. Like, was there a point with that, or you realize like, holy shit, we can do this for a long time?
There's like multiple points. I was thinking about this the other day because I took a meeting with Caroline.
Okay.
And I remember thinking,
so Caroline's still around. That's crazy.
Are they?
No. Oh, you talking about back then? Okay, yeah, back then, Caroline. Okay. I thought I said the other day you took a meeting with Caroline.
No. I was just thinking about a meeting that I took because I found like I got to get rid of storage. I think that's another thing that we have.
You're a hoarder?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
I've been getting rid of it. I'm down to I was at one point I had 2 houses, 5 storage rooms. Now I'm down to 1 house, 2 storage rooms.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's just everything you save?
And an office I had. At one point I had 2 houses, an office, and 5 storage rooms.
Was that the Headbanger Ball days? MTV days?
No, it was after.
Okay.
That was only 03 to 06, but it was 100 episodes.
It's still great, though.
Ricky Rackman was my first episode, and then my 100th episode was Lemmy.
And that took you to a different level, too, right?
Yeah, that was not good.
That was like next level.
That was not good for partying and stuff. The way people treat you when you're on TV is really, I don't think it's a good thing, man. People that really, it's got to be way different now for Instagram. I think it's even more unhealthy. Then TV was weird. Like all of a sudden, like people are like, you're on TV. It's probably like what those like Instagram celebrities are feeling now, where it's like you can't even just fucking, you can't even enjoy your life.
Can't go and do anything. Yeah,
It's just punishers everywhere.
Yeah,
but thinking about that Caroline meeting, I used to look at all the backs of the records and I would write the names down.
Okay.
And I would like try to do visualization of like
the executives and shit like that, producers, or
no, I'd just try to go like, I would try to say like my band is going to be on one of these.
Okay.
So I would like visualize. And one of my favorite records was Quickness from Bad Brains because the punk rockers didn't like it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, fuck you, this is great. They're like, oh, it's metal.
I loved it, dude.
I was like,
so much.
This is so great.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorites. And then I went to go see I didn't even know it was an HR. It was Chuck Mosley. But the lights were dim.
Oh, that's right. They had him for a minute. That's right.
And the place was going.
Rest in peace.
Oh, my God. Rest in peace, Chuck Mosley. Fuck, man. Was that drugs?
I think so, yeah.
Oh. See? Like, man, it's fucked, man.
That was an incredible record, too. That Faith No More record with him.
Oh.
So good.
We're so lucky.
So you went to the show. And it was dark.
Oh, yeah. And the whole place was a pit. Toad's place.
Oh, yeah.
Whole place was a pit. And a punk band opened up, a local punk band, which was a cool band. This band Lost Gen. Cool band. But, like, I saw, like, all the punk rockers that were talking shit were at the show.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so wait, they're talking shit about the record, but they're fans.
That's so weird.
Right? Like, I would notice these things.
Yeah, that's smart.
And so that's why, like, when I got on TV and when Hatebreed became this massive band, I would go, the words don't hurt.
They don't, dude.
They're still fans. They're just confused. They're just mad. Like, they're just like me. Like when my favorite hardcore bands blew up. Oh, fuck them. Now their shirts are fucking $12. So then I was like, how do I not become the whiner? How do I not become...
They're not playing the basement no more to 10 kids.
Right. How do
They're
I not...
my band. I found them first. I have their fucking demo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing where, like, they love you, and then the minute you become successful and get to do what you love for a career, you're a fucking sellout. It makes no sense, man.
Or you just change a guitar part, and or you change your tone, and like, oh, it's metal.
And you can't. You have to make the same record over and over again. You don't have to do that. You have to experience shit. I feel like that stuff was always so strange to me. Like the love and the hate. Like you said, they're talking shit, but then they're at the show.
Yeah.
Won't say shit to Bad Brains'
and they're going
face.
crazy.
Not going to say shit to them.
No. And the whole place was a pit. And I was like, I need to do this. I need to do this. And you know what I did? I went back like 2 weeks later. Carcass played. Carcass, Napalm. I think it was Carcass, Napalm, Cathedral, Brutal Truth.
Sick show.
And I was handing out flyers. And you know what I noticed? At the Bad Brains show, the cool motherfuckers with the Social D shirt and the girlfriend with the shit, they throw the flyer on the ground. Actually, same thing at CB's. Like, I won't say who, but people that you know, big bands that were in big bands, they throw my flyer on the ground. And I go, I would visualize in my mind, I'll headline over you. You'll be opening for me. And they did.
I love that shit.
They did. They
Holy shit.
So
I
then,
fucking love that, dude.
at the Carcass show,
It's crazy.
they took my flyer. They were psyched. I was
metal
like,
show.
yes,
Yeah.
the metal show.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is what we got to do. We got to bridge the gap.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get the kids who like Bad Brains, and we got to get the kids that like Carcass.
Smart.
But Not the fucking cool motherfucker, the too cool for school. They impressed me, bro, in the back with his arms crossed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With the Fugazi shirt. Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
So that first record on Victory was probably one of Victory's biggest records ever at that point. I would say. I remember hearing all about that and like how many it sold and just it was just that was
stayed on the Billboard charts for like 4 years.
Was that Death of Desire?
Satisfaction's a Death of Desire. Yep.
Yeah. So that one.
Because Muhammad Ali had said he would never have gotten out of the ghetto and been a world champion if he was satisfied with what the ghetto was offering, what life, what society, whatever. You know, he would have never challenged his ideas. He would have never trained. He said he like hated training.
So but he had to that name.
Yep. He said he had to train. You know, you had to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So you got to get out of your fucking comfort zone. I don't want to stand in the rain and hand out flyers at Irving Plaza at Slayer all night, freezing my ass off, not have money to get back in the van.
Yeah.
You know? But I did it.
Yeah.
For that album with the stickers.
Yeah.
And that show, too, Machine Head opened for Slayer. I won't say who threw the sticker on the ground, but
damn,
they did open for us.
Later on, yeah, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So when that...
And we killed them with kindness.
Yeah. Respect and shit, yeah. So when that record came out, what level was Hatebreed at before that Victory record dropped? It was just building and building and building. That record came out, and that was just like...
Building and building, yeah. Got to shout out John Regan.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Ignite.
Yeah.
Shout out all the promoters that booked us. Shout out Finberg.
Oh, yeah.
It's all water under the bridge, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that we had falling outs with, shout out Ken Creedy. I never had a falling out with Ken Creedy. I just had to move on to a different agency.
Yeah.
It was sad because I went and worked. I would take the train and I would drive. I would buy a car for $500. I left so many cars on the fucking Hutchinson Parkway broken down, on the fucking BQE, on the, like, I would go in, I would take the train, I would do whatever I could. I would listen to WSOU and go, fuck, oh God, I hope one day I could get my song played. Because we would get WSOU in Bay Ridge.
Yeah. And you do that by yourself. Like, what was that passion? What was that? What was in you? Like, what was your... I know you're motivated because you love music, but you were so... I don't know. You were on top of your shit and persistent, all that.
Because every time I would try for a goal, they would move the fucking goalpost. I don't know if it was just me or if everybody had dealt with this, but it would be like, I want to get on this tour. They took out this hardcore band. Why won't they take out us? Move the goalpost. So I would go, well, they did this. Why won't they do this? They would move the goalpost. So I was like, I need to rig the game in my favor.
Okay.
So by booking shows, I would be able to get little bits of tidbits of information. So I'd be like, I would just network. I would be like, hey, hey, you know, like Exodus was getting back together with Paul Bailoff, and I love Bonded by Blood. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I booked the shows. Now, we weren't able to play the shows because we had already been booked on another show.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to play with Exodus. But the other show we got booked on was Machine Head. And then Finberg was their agent. I said, hey, what other dates are you selling? Oh, I'm selling a date to Pearl Street in Northampton. I'm selling a date to Babyhead or whatever, the Lupos or whatever it was at the time. So then I would call because I had inside information. Yo, can I get on that show? Scott Lee put us on the show. Shout out to
Scott Lee, Pearl Street. Yeah, man.
So then,
that's awesome.
Get to the show, give out the demo, sell the shirts, try to, say, yo, Rob, come on, man, hook us up. Right?
You were hustling. I love that. And plus you booked shows, so you knew how it worked, too.
Right.
Had the connections.
But then when I started booking the tours, I thought, okay, so if I'm selling these promoters, like, say, Newfound Glory, Saves the Day, Piebald, I booked that. Newfound Glory is probably getting $100 a show, right?
Back then.
Saves the Day was getting a good paycheck. Then I would go get my commissions. Now I had money for rent, and the promoters were psyched they got a good show. So when Hatebreed came through, they would take care of us because I was selling them other shows.
Awesome.
So if we were opening for a band and the band was like, oh, here you go, you get fucking 6-pack of water and that's it. Promoters would be like, oh, yo, what's up? How you doing? You know, and so just trying to like.
You build relationships.
Yeah. Network and
Yeah.
constantly, you know, because everybody would say that like, hey, man, people you see on the way up or the people you see on the way down. So,
Exactly.
you know, you want it to be cool.
Yeah. Did people think that Hatebreed meant something that didn't when they first heard the band's name?
No, that was never a thing because we knew Sick of It All, Misfits, you know, Hatebreeders was a fucking
Yeah.
I mean, it was, you know, we were like, we're a hardcore crossover band with punk and hardcore influences. Like, we just took off the ERS. It was never an issue. It was only an issue when the whiners, you know, look, you can only go to so many fucking kickball games and have them not pick you before you're like, I'm starting my own fucking game.
My own kickball team. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
So, like, all right, Maximum Rock and Roll, they won't take my ad. This magazine. And so we were like, well, what the fuck? We're too metal for the punk and the hardcore shit.
Yeah.
We're too fucking hardcore. Metal Maniacs won't even fucking review the album until the album was 4 years old.
Wow.
But then you know who would take the ads? You know who would review the album? You know who would put us on the death metal shit? We were in Pit magazine and the underground death metal fanzines, and 6 Feet Under put us on shows, and we did shows with fucking Immolation and Internal Bleeding and
melodic bands too. You guys play with so many different diverse bands.
Entombed. We did a tour with it, but then we'd also play with fucking Ignite and
That's
Lifetime.
what I'm saying. Yeah, I know. I love that. Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like you got to just get in where you fit in. Like I don't know how these. I don't know. I give these young bands a lot of credit because, man, they deal with so much fucking clicky bullshit. Fucking. I thought we dealt with a lot of it, but at least like we would go to a show. Like, we'd have a night off. We'd have no money. We would go to a show. We'd be like, yo, AFI, can we jump up and play some songs? And they'd be like, yeah. And they did.
Yeah.
And
Fucking
so
awesome.
And so when they popped off, I was like, respect, man.
Yeah.
They did it.
Yeah.
They cared. And it was like a Christian coffee house bookstore show. And we're like fucking, we got like pentagrams on our flyers and shit. And they were nice enough to do shit like that. Like, I don't know. Can you do that nowadays? Can you show up to somebody's show and be like, yo, we're on tour. We have a night off. Can we play? Nobody's going to fucking let you play.
Like, talk to my manager, talk to my booking agent.
Yeah.
Like, it's me time. Yeah, like.
Did you get Davey Havoc yet?
I texted him about it yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
I'm trying to lock him in. Yeah, I love him.
Great. He's great.
Yeah, he's great. Was he on your podcast?
No, I got to link up with him again. I got to break his balls about that video where they played Hatebreed.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
I got to break
the mosh during their video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that, actually, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Webb, he directed I Will Be Heard for us, and I was bummed because I'm like, you didn't catch the dance, you didn't film the dancing correctly, but then you got it right for AFI, and they moshed to our music.
Wow.
So the AFI video was so much better than our video.
Holy shit.
Don't you think?
Yeah, so I heard about it after they were moshing not to AFI but to Hatebreed. That's amazing.
But he's a great director. I mean, he did 500 Days of Summer. He did Spider-Man. I mean, he's such a talented. He moved on from videos and went on to like direct movies and stuff. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Mark Webb. Shout out to Mark Webb.
How old were you when you became a dad? Like, where were you at when you?
Yo, he was shook at the video show too. At the video set, yeah, because people were wiling out.
Oh, your video set.
Yeah, it was Worcester.
Oh,
and we were having all sorts of internal band problems. I don't want to.
It was a stressful situation.
It was stressful. There was some really, really gnarly things going on behind the scenes.
Damn.
Yeah, but hey, that's life. You're young.
You got a good energy from it, though. Maybe.
I mean, it set the fucking world on fire for us. I mean, still, we closed last night. We closed with that song. Yeah. And the whole place is singing it.
It's crazy. Can't wait till my son sees you because he likes heavy music now. His favorite band's Slipknot, and like
that's great. Yeah, we had this band on tour with us, and we were like, "Yo, Toby's son loves you guys."
Oh, Fit for Not Top.
Yeah,
dude, he loves them, man.
Yeah, they're hard. They're good. That's
awesome.
A good band.
And homeboy from he was in Terrorzone, a hardcore kid.
Oh yeah, Pat.
Yeah.
I forgot that he was in that band. Yeah. I was like, yeah, Max, because I was telling him that I saw you guys in
Europe,
Czech Republic. And I was like, yeah, Max, because Max was just hanging with me on the bus on my
talking about music
on my Jasta tour.
He's stoked to see you, dude, because he loved hanging out with you that time, and like he put
great.
2 and 2 together that you're the guy in Hatebreed, and so like he's been listening to you guys, and yeah, it's gonna be cool.
I was like, you got good taste, man. You got good taste in music.
He does.
Because I love all that.
He's
that
listening to
shit.
Death Now and Obituary, all this other shit now.
Love
So what was it like when you became a dad? Did that change anything for you? And how old were you?
Yeah, I was 20, gonna be 21, or no? Was I 19? Gonna be 9?
You were a young dad.
She was born in January, so I just turned 21.
Wow.
Or yeah, it was 4 months.
And so where were you at that point in your life at 21 years old? Like
my God, dude! You know what's fucked up? I was out in the front. I had bought a Jetta,
sick,
like with like 117,000 miles on it or something. And I was out in the front of. Shout out to Lorenzo.
Oh yeah, I saw him yesterday.
You did?
Saw him yesterday. He's in town.
No way! I gotta hit him up.
Yeah, I saw him yesterday.
So we're out in the front. She didn't want us drinking in the house. You know, my daughter's a baby. We're out in the front of my old apartment where this motherfucker wouldn't even fix the front railing. And it's snowing, it's icy. And I'm like, yo, my girl's got a baby. Got to walk down the steps. You got to fix the fucking railing, this scumbag motherfucker. And I'm like, dude, I was telling Lorenzo, I'm like, we sold all these fucking records. Where are our fucking royalties? Where is the fucking money? Like, what is going on? Like, why are we paying for fucking Best Buy? The record's 4 years old. Why are we getting charged for all this fucking, all this shit,
That's
right?
a whole difference. Yeah.
And we're in the front of my
that was
fucking
Victory, right?
Yeah, I guess we could say it now because he sold the label, right? I think I signed some.
I just saw that.
I don't know what.
27.
I don't need to be getting sued, so let's just say this. So I'm in the front and I'm like, I gotta fucking, I can't live here anymore. I gotta really fucking do this, man. Like, this is like, I gotta blow this shit up. Like, and we're drinking a fucking 12-pack of natural
Sounds like you're
ice.
hanging on 8 Mile or something.
Dude, we're drinking in the front of my fucking house, in front of my apartment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got to do this shit for real.
You're about to lose yourself.
And she's like, get the fuck out of here. She's like, get my girl. She's like, don't be fucking drinking in front of the house, like in the car, like losers.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm like, Lorenzo, we're not losers, man. Like we can't be doing this.
Outside the fucking freezing too. Damn.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's like on the fucking show with The Rock and shit.
He is?
Yeah.
He's on Hustler.
Ballers.
He is?
Yeah.
What's he doing on there?
I don't know. He was on a couple episodes.
He looks like an actor. I saw him. He looks good, man. That's crazy. He's on there. Holy shit.
Yeah.
All right. So when you became a dad, you're like 21, and then what? So they're like, fuck. Now I got a kid. Now I'm fucking gonna get out of this fucking apartment, this house.
Oh yeah. My father was like, you gotta go. That's it.
But you had a record that sold a lot of copies at that point.
Yeah.
Like a lot, hundreds of thousands of copies.
Yeah. I mean, you know what though? I think we all kind of. This was when we still the collective consciousness of the scene was don't talk about money.
Yeah.
It's not about money. If you care about money, you're a bad person. That was what we were sold. That's what we were told. And again, not to go back to Fugazi, but there were bands that were able to do it, and that was their thing, and that was fine.
Yeah.
But their parents were rich, man. They had a house.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they weren't rich, they were upper middle class.
Well, people, yeah.
And that would my father was trying to keep his new marriage together, trying to keep his new job, and I'm in there booking shows and fucking borrowing money and
even on that record, success.
And yeah, man, because it was like robbing Peter to pay Paul. Do a tour, come back.
Fuck.
But the first tour where we came back with money was the Sepultura tour.
Was that the first main big support tour you guys had?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really owe.
Was that a Rise?
No, it was this was when Derek joined the band.
Oh, okay.
So I really owe Derek and Andreas and Paulo and Igor. I gotta team up. I just did a song with Max. I'm cool with both.
Yeah, awesome.
Right? But I do wanna I should repay Andreas and Derek and them because that was a big deal. They took our gear on the truck and stuff so that we could like actually sleep on the mattress in the van and not be on top of the gear.
Damn.
And then by doing that,
Super
everybody
nice.
went home with money.
Yeah.
Because we weren't wasting money on the hotels and
Yeah.
you know, so then I was like, well, shit, now I can pay the rent. I can pay because my daughter was having some health problems. So could pay for the medicine and pay for like a Buterol and the asthma machine and the treatments and the allergies. But then, you know, we would go to doctors and they'd be like, well, you know, is there smoking going? Yeah, the fucking upstairs neighbors fucking smoking like a chimney. We live by fucking this horrible company who I won't say, you know, their name because I don't want a fucking lawsuit, but they pay the fines.
Yeah.
They pay the fines to dump in the air. And every morning, you know, we would smell it in the air.
That sucks.
And then my daughter would be coughing and being sick. And we'd be like, yo, we got to move away from this shit.
Fuck.
They pay the fines to pollute. There's so many people on my old street that got sick.
Still happening now?
Yeah, that got cancer. There was a street behind us that they called it Cancer Alley from this fucking shitbags from this fucking company dumping into the air.
Jesus, man.
All their fucking pollution. They'd rather pay the fines.
That's crazy.
Right, but you can't like when you. So then somebody who's like, "Oh fuck you for your $10 fucking thing." Yeah, motherfucker, you live out in the fucking suburbs where the air is fucking clean, and your parents fucking bought you your car that you go to the fucking shows with.
Yeah.
And like, don't like, who the fuck are you to tell me?
Exactly. So how soon after did you get out of there and get a house, or like?
Oh, perseverance. That first check came in.
Sick.
Yeah, I was like. Thank God. Thank you, Monty Lippman.
Crib.
Thank you, Avery Lippman, for buying us out of our deal.
Is
and
that
getting
Roadrunner?
on Universal.
Universal, okay.
Oh, my God.
I changed everything.
Yeah, and then everybody, before the record came out, everybody was like, oh, they're going to sell out. They're sellouts. They signed a Universal. I was like, yes, we're sellouts. Fine. Like, I could pay for the medicine. I have health insurance. I have a house.
Crib.
I have a pool. I have a car. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I have
Huge.
Dignity.
Yeah. And
Like,
you worked hard for it, dude. It wasn't
yeah.
just handed to you, man.
Yeah.
You paid your dues and then some. You know what I mean? Like.
Yep. I
So
can
that's
pay my
life-changing.
mom's phone bill. I can pay my mom's heat. I can do all this shit. I can put my friends' bands on tour. I can put my friends' records out. I could pay for their
Stillborn.
videos. Yeah.
Yeah. So that label helped out a lot of people too. Your label. That's awesome.
Yeah. And you know what? Hey, listen. When the shit went down, we didn't see the forest through the trees. You got to have those failures. You know what I mean? Like I should have weathered the storm, but I couldn't. At that point, you know, just it's fine. Shut the label down. It's fine. No big deal.
Yeah. How many years was it up for?
A long fucking time, man.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, look at. I was messaging Travis Barker, this morning or last night, and you know, like with LaSalle.
Yeah.
You know, I used to bother him all the time. Look, we have all had projects that have fallen through.
Yeah.
You know that they can't all be these massively successful things. And what do? You bounce back. You do other projects. You collaborate with
100%.
other people. You do what you got to do. You know.
Yeah. You worked on that Ezak release too. It was on there, didn't you?
Yeah, I was bothering him so much. Now I look back and I go, we were laughing about that when I had E on the podcast. We were laughing about that. We were talking about Punishers because look, we're fighting for the artists. We're like, yo, we need this tour, we need this, we need that. You don't realize that, you know, if a label doesn't have the big tentpole artist, like, okay, you don't like Nickelback? Well, guess what? Nickelback paid for Supremacy, the album. Slipknot and Nickelback. If that wasn't on Roadrunner, we wouldn't have. You don't like Godsmack?
True.
Well, guess what? Godsmack and Cash Money, that money gave us the money to get on Universal.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's
Good
like
point. I could say that about Offspring and Rancid too for Epitaph, for our two records. It's because of them we got the money and got taken care of.
Right?
Same thing. It all trickles down.
It all trickles down.
Yeah.
So if you're on a label and you're like one of these guys, like, oh, why doesn't this band? You know, why does this band get all the money? Like. And I was that guy.
Yeah.
You know, we sold just as many records as Megadeth and Trivium when we were all on Roadrunner. But we don't get the push because we're associated with hardcore. We don't get the big budget videos because we're associated with hardcore. That's how the cards fall.
Does it bother you? It always bother you or not anymore?
It used to.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, you know what? That's how it goes. They don't look and this will go back to the Bad Brain shit and the Caroline shit.
Yeah.
When I went to meet with them, I had a conversation about the Ramones. because I loved the Ramones, and when they played Toads, they were in a van.
Always.
And I was like, and I loved Pet Sematary, man. I was like, I love that album. I listened to that album last night on the plane.
So good.
Brain Drain. Great
Brain
album.
Drain, yeah.
So the guy laughed at me in the meeting. He goes, that album's a flop. It only sound scanned for that time, even with the big song in the movie.
Yeah.
It only sound scanned 38,000 records. So he told me, like, that's the Ramones, one of the greatest punk bands of all time. Same thing when I took other meetings at other labels. Oh, Sick of It All was on Atlantic. They only sold 50,000 records or 60,000 records or whatever it was. So that's it. That's all you'll ever do. So what I had to do was go, no, your fucking ceiling does not apply to me. Because if I believe that, then I'm going to manifest that.
100%.
But if I believe that I'm going to sound scan 10 times what the Ramones sound scanned, which we ended up doing with Perseverance, Rise of Brutality, Supremacy, and Self-Titled, 4 or 5 records in a row to be able to do that, that's because you have to envision that type of shit to manifest it.
Yeah.
And it's no diss to anybody in their sales. It's just like, but you're being held to a flame that, that these other bands had created.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't because they weren't great bands. It was because the labels didn't fucking market it right, or they didn't take the right tour, or there was internal problems, or you never know what was going on.
Yeah.
That's why you have to make your own lane. And
I love that. And it's funny because the way your band sounds and the name of your band and people looking at it from an outside perspective, or not even knowing you personally, you have a total PMA. Like what you just said, there's like a direct quote from Napoleon Hill, who created PMA, is what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. And you just said that basically, that everything you put it out there, like you put that PMA juju out there and believed in yourself, believed in Hatebreed, believed in everything you did, and you made it actually happen. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty amazing, man. Like you have a strong mind for that and like focus, regardless if you're sober or not. You know what I'm saying? Like you stayed focused on like your baby, which was Hatebreed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I always loved all that shit. Like I loved like Dr. Wayne Dyer and Tony Robbins and fucking Deepak and all that stuff. And people, now still till this day, they diss all that shit. And I'm like, yeah, but
it's all fake and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, but what are you doing? What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, it's fucking snake oil salesman and this and that. Not if you don't pay. I wasn't paying for fucking no Tony Robbins seminar, but I was taking the good out of it. Same thing I did with the Bible. I don't believe in the Bible. I don't believe in Jesus. Yeah. But you know what? There's some good shit that I can take and apply and use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if
you're definitely an optimist.
Like if I go and if I go to the soup kitchen and I go and I fucking ladle some soup into some bowls, right? Nobody sees it. I'm going to talk about it, whatever. But that's what Jesus would do. What's wrong with that? So anybody who's saying that this shit's foofy or corny or whatever, all right, well, you're saying that. You're not going and doing anything.
Just talking, man. Just
right?
Talking. Yeah. I love that. So you consider yourself pretty much a optimist.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the people that aren't, I think it's just depression, man. I do, because I've been so depressed where I've been pessimistic and irritated and think everything's whack and everybody's an asshole and I don't want to hang out and I don't want to do this. I don't want to see anybody. And I know, so I don't even try to like pass judgment anymore. I just try to put out into the universe, like, man, help these people, help these poor souls, give them some fucking relief.
Yeah, totally.
And even after all the financial shit, like all the, like the greed of these labels and of the promoters and stuff, and of the merch companies, and like people don't understand. They go, "Oh, Jasta, you're all about the money." I go, "Well, how does it feel when you walk outside and your shirts are being bootlegged, your statements you don't agree with, you feel, and then the fans are downloading your record for free, and you feel like all this energy and time that you put into this art and you put into the packaging and the creative and the writing and the lyrics and the touring, and you feel like you're being ripped off on every angle, right? At some point you go, I'm still gonna do it, even in spite of all that. I'm still gonna do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
And why? Because greed is just another bottomless vice, man. these people that are doing this shit that are they can't get enough.
Yeah.
And they're still unhappy.
It's so true, man. It's so true. It's powerful shit.
Right?
Yeah. That's crazy.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Go, like, and we won't say where, but we've both been there, where you go outside and they're like, yo, don't bark up that tree. I mean, we did one time in Philly, and it kind of, it was a problem where we had to go and take the shirts, and then there was fear of repercussions, and they're going to slash your tires, or they're going to fuck you up, or they're going to send dudes after you, whatever. But, you're selling our fucking shirts. You didn't do the work. You're bootlegging our shit, right?
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? If you need the money that bad, what can I do, man?
Yeah.
Like, just hope that greed, hope that money goes to pay for somebody's fucking school lunch.
Your health bills or something.
Or something.
Yeah. It's crazy in South America. There's so many bootlegs in Mexico and like really nice families. We go out there and we try to get some of the merch. Some of it's really dope, and you ask them to give you some of it. I'm in the band, they give it to you and shit, but I get it. It's their hustle. It's their livelihood for a lot of people, man, for sure.
Yeah. What are you going to do,
Do you have any regrets in your life?
No.
You're the third person this week that said, no, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, awesome. Like a hard no.
Yeah. Look, the whole fuck you mentality, like, oh, you didn't like me moshing at your show, and you didn't do the, you threw my sticker on the ground, you threw my flyer on the ground. That fire can only fucking fuel you for so long, right?
Totally.
And that's the same fire that's like regret.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the saying? It's like, that if you're holding on to that rope, eventually you're going to get like the rope burn. Whereas if you let go, now you got this whole fucking new lane to go down. So I mean, if there's anybody that's at a different place that's listening to this that needs to keep that fire burning, I get it. But at some point, you do need to think, I mean, sure, do I wish that I didn't miss the birthdays and didn't miss the funerals and the various
sacrifices for being in the band.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, just the other night, we're front row. We're at Post Malone. It's my girl's
I saw
favorite.
the videos. It was awesome.
Yeah, my daughter, my girl.
I knew it had to be with your daughter.
Yeah, my girlfriend and my daughter, like, they're the two most important people in my life, and they're so happy, and they thank me sometimes every day for the life that they have. And so, like, I get it.
Awesome, man.
My sister wrote me last night, was like, you've been such a positive influence in my kids' lives, so that's dope. You got to look at it half full. You can't go, oh, I missed another birthday. I missed another, you got to think, like, dude, we were on the sidelines. We're fucking talking to the players. Drew Brees was right there. I'm with my nephew. I'm like, it was amazing. I'm like, this is what major label deals and fucking Blue Apron and
but also your connections and your you know what I mean, your relationships,
but
your hard work.
But do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, these are things that we would have
back in the day. Random perks that are awesome, like in real life with your family and like relatives and cousins, and get to do cool shit with them. Like, it's like real life shit that they really love,
right?
Because of what you've done and built too.
That we would have probably been like, oh no, we can't do that when we were 14, 15.
Yeah. But
now we see that life's short.
Mm-hmm.
It's a finite amount of time we're here. Let's not be burdened on people. Let's lift each other up where we can. Let's let the kids have a fucking good time. You're not going to your grave with it, so you might as well spend it on a fucking concert ticket or a record or
very true,
or a nice meal or a fucking
treat yourself
or a hike or a nice vacation up to a whatever, or even just like you did, like a movie, like just go to the Joker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because there's people listening to this that probably don't have the fucking $15 to go to the Joker.
Yeah,
and maybe they don't have it because they're in a spot and they need to fucking get out of it. They need to get out of that spot and get into a position where they could be doing something better, where they're going to have something to show.
Yeah. What do you think the key has been to your success and your longevity career at this point?
Just show up. You just got
Yeah.
to keep showing up. That's it. I was talking to Butch about that this morning too. Like, I mean, dude, think about Butch. He comes from like Cartersville, fucking Georgia. Came out here in the glam scene. Did a record with Desmond Child.
Butch Walker, yeah.
Right? Then now produces Pink, Weezer, Green Day.
Fuck.
Beautiful studio in Santa Monica. Solo artist.
Mm-hmm.
You know? If
Pretty amazing.
If he had given up when the glam shit died, and oh yeah, glam is dead, grunge took over, fuck you. Remember how everybody was like relishing in that? That's when the new lane opens up. Oh, glam failed. Your record failed. You got dropped from your label. If you just gave up and you went back to Cartersville, you wouldn't be out here fucking writing songs with Pink and
It's crazy, man.
and Green Day.
Yeah, I like that. Show up.
Show up and don't let somebody say like, oh, your shit's fucking dead. You know how many times, dude, I remember this girl, I won't say who, I know you know her, and I know you know the band she manages. Satisfaction had been out for like 2 years, and we
Did a million tours on it.
yeah, and it was like you already grabbed everybody in hardcore you could grab. And she said, your 15 minutes of fame are over. And I was like, okay, bitch, watch. Like that, but that, you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
that like, but that also
That
burns
inspires
you.
you to go even harder, yeah.
Right, but it also burns you in the end.
Yeah.
Because you can't have it both ways. You can't be
Mm-hmm.
like, fuck you, I'm going to do all this stuff in spite of everybody. You also have to pay it forward and try to be a positive person. And
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Fuck.
yeah, Butch was talking about, I don't know if we talked about this on my show or what, but he was talking about he had a falling out with Desmond Child, and then he saw him later on, and it was like they picked up right where they left off. And I'm having Desmond on my show,
Sick.
so I can't wait to talk about fucking Aerosmith and Bon Jovi and fucking and. I mean, think about the songs that guy wrote, the hits that guy
Yeah,
wrote.
yeah,
Yo, he
yeah.
wrote Poison for Alice Cooper.
Oh, shit.
Remember that shit?
Yeah, I do.
With your lips of
That's awesome, man.
venomous. You were too cool for school by that point. You were like, I'm not down with none. You were like, I'm fucking down with GB.
Maybe, yeah.
GB only. Shout out to Civ.
Hell yeah. I think we
Shout
covered
out
a lot
to
of
Walter.
shit. Shout out to Walter.
I emailed Walter. What's up, man? Where? Hit me back.
Come
Come on the show. It was that stupid shit where they put out like, quick people. It was some stupid pull quote. We didn't mean it like how it sounded. Like quicksand's not hardcore. It wasn't that. It was that it was post-hardcore or whatever it was.
Oh, you did the poll. Okay.
It didn't have the. So I was like, damn. I hope we didn't offend them. But I had Sergio on my show, and he was
Yeah.
like, nah, it's all good.
Yeah,
but I
love
still haven't heard
Sergio.
back from Walter.
Love
So.
Sergio. Love Deftones.
Shout out to Deftones.
How long we talk for?
Hour and 40, baby.
It's pretty good.
Felt like 20 minutes.
It was
That's it.
really great, man. I think we covered a lot of things I want to talk to you about. I want to thank you for everything you contributed to music, everything you continue to do.
I want to thank you.
and I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. I thank you for being you. And don't sweat these idiots on Instagram and social media and stuff. Like, just do
Some
you,
haters.
man. Just be you, man.
Thank
Look,
you, man.
like it's hard to live a life, and you're not being a burden on anybody. That's them. Their own flaws are what they see online. And that's all they're doing is they're holding up a mirror to themselves. It has nothing to do with you at all, really.
Yeah.
You just happen to be the photo that popped up in their feed.
Totally.
I like those Diplomat socks, too.
Thank you, man.
I tried to pitch back in the day. I don't know if I told Butch this, too, because he was like a big Ace fan. I took that loop from New York Groove. No, from Snowblind.
Okay.
Off the Ace Frehley solo record. I put a beat to it. And I sent it to Jim Jones, but he didn't use it.
Really?
Yeah, but that was when Jim was hot, directing videos.
So you were doing beats too for a second.
I just
Yeah.
here and
'Cause
there.
I know they have hip hop too.
I did because I did a song with DJ Khaled. I pitched a song to Fat Joe, he didn't use. I pitched a song to Jim Jones, he didn't use. I pitched a song after I pitched a couple. They like Fat Joe hates rock music.
Okay.
And which it's fine. I love Fat Joe. He's always every time I see him, he's so cool.
Okay.
He's so nice.
I love him too.
And that's just not his thing.
Yeah.
But I
respect.
He ended up being on the remix, I think, of the DJ Khaled song.
Okay.
And he probably doesn't even like the music, but it was just riffs from my first Jasta solo album. Anyways.
Oh, that's cool though,
So
man.
it was like I got paid twice. So fuck it.
Wow. That's cool you did that.
Yeah, I got so much hate mail for that. So much.
Fuck, man.
DJ Khaled sucks. What does he do? And this is before he was even big.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, in that, just again, it just makes me go back to the whole thing. Like, just words. It's just words.
Just words.
The words don't hurt. Come on.
Don't.
We're 40. Fuck, how old are you?
49.
Yeah. Words don't hurt. I mean, come on.
The only opinions that matter to me are my wife and my sons in reality. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it's the same thing for you.
Right. If you don't know them personally, don't take it personal.
That's a good point, too. Real quick, was Post Malone good? It was a great show?
Whole cliche podcast. It's like the fucking cliche after cliche. No, yeah, it was great, man. It was great.
Really
Shout
good.
out to Ange. Shout out to Adam. He's down for New York Hardcore, his photographer.
Oh, nice. I didn't know
Post
that.
Malone's photographer, yeah.
He's super talented, man.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't even need that shit. Yo, when he does the song without any of the effects on his voice is even better. A lot of those guys are like that. T-Pain.
Really can sing, yeah.
Like, go YouTube T-Pain, like, singing with no auto-tune.
Okay.
He doesn't even need it.
Okay.
It's just that's their brand.
It's their style, yeah.
It's like their trademark.
Yeah.
So, like, if you remember when, like, Metallica cut their hair, people all pissed off?
Totally.
If Post Malone takes off the effect on his voice, people are going to be all pissed off. Even though his actual voice is amazing, he doesn't even need auto-tune.
That's interesting to use that, yeah. I think there's probably a lot of people like that, too. Kanye can actually sing without auto-tune, too.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I think you're I can play
Maybe I'm wrong.
I can play some
Maybe
audio
that's
on
future.
that.
Maybe that's future.
He's a little pitchy in some parts.
But you loved hip-hop. You always loved hip-hop.
Oh, yeah.
The 90s were the best. We had such good
best.
East Coast shit, man.
I got to stop, though, with the old man shit because you know what? These kids, let them like what they like. I was on that whole tip, and it's not cool. Just let them like what they like. Like,
especially, my son loves all that mumble stuff.
I would go. What would I say to my nephew? I go. We had Rakim, we had Mobb Deep, we had Cool G Rap. I go. You got Lil Pump. This garbage or whatever. And then I was like, you know what? No. I was like, stop being a hater.
Mm-hmm.
Let Lil Pump do his thing. He never did nothing to me.
Yeah.
And Lil Pump, because who was it? Because then my nephew wanted the fucking slippers. They were like $300 slippers.
Gucci slips?
Oh, my God.
Because of his song.
Jesus.
Oh, Gucci flip-flops.
I go, they're made in China for $4. And when they don't sell, they burn them because they don't want them to be ever discounted. So what Gucci does is they go and they bring them out to a fucking pit in a fucking desert and they burn them because they don't ever want to have items on clearance because it's fake scarcity, fake value. I'm trying to explain this to my nephew.
I've never known that. That's fucking incredible.
That's a lot of clothes. A lot of clothing companies do that, man, because they don't want a purse for $10,000. They're not going to mark it down to $100. Meanwhile, I don't want to get any lawsuits, so we'll leave it at that.
All right, well, thank you, Jamey. This is awesome.
Thank you,
I'm
Toby.
sure we're going to do a part 2 and part 3.
Toby won.
I could talk to you for hours. It was
Thank
awesome.
you, brother.
All right, man.
Appreciate it.
Bye. Hey, guys. Thanks for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet to this podcast, please do that. And whatever platform you are listening to this on, I'm glad you found me. You can rate me and review me on there also. So thank you guys sincerely for the support. I cannot wait for you guys to do the next one.